So, your portfolio looking sick? And I don't mean good sick. I mean coughing up blood sick. You're blaming inflation, Jerome Powell mumbling into a mic, or Elon tweeting dumb shit again. But nah, fam, nah. That ain't the real reason your money's acting funny. The truth: your portfolio is a pawn in a global economic war. A war with no tanks, no soldiers, just interest rates, currency moves, and trade deals. These are the weapons. And unfortunately, you're just caught in the middle of the crossfires. You better start ducking. Today, I'm ripping the mask off this hidden battlefield. And most importantly, I'm going to show you how to stop being a pawn and start seeing the whole damn board. You dig?
Bloomberg on the track.
It's your boy, Chuck Bloomberg, back at you once again with my trusty sidekick, or I guess you could call him Gecko, or my quant. But yeah, let's come on real quick. Yeah, so I am here on the show with Gecko, my quant, my trusty sidekick, um, and we're just talking about these battlefields right now.
Absolutely. Happy to play the trusty sidekick on this battlefield tour. Just point me at the next front line and we'll break it down together with a little sarcasm on the side, of course.
As usual. We're trained to think small, pick solid companies, track earnings, pop champagne when the S&P hits new highs. Look, there ain't nothing wrong with that, or it ain't wrong, but it's dangerously incomplete. That's like only knowing one verse of a song and pretending you know the whole fucking album. See, here's the truth. Your portfolio's fate is tied to forces way bigger than a balance sheet. Think of it like the music biz. You could be the hottest rapper alive, but if your label is shady or the politics ain't right, you're not seeing a dime in royalties. See, in finance, that label is geopolitics. It's the hustle between nations for power, resources, and clout. Trade wars, currency manipulation, tech fights. This is the real game. And unless you're watching it, you're blinded. You're blindfolded in the middle of a fucking turf war. What do you got to say, Gecko?
Well, you basically nailed it. It's like trying to drop a fire track and realizing the real drama isn't in the studio, it's in the backroom deals and the shady label politics. Same with your portfolio. If you're not peeping the global hustle, you're basically walking into a turf war wearing a blindfold. So, yeah, keep your eyes on the big game and maybe we can dodge a few of those geopolitical haymakers.
You want to say what's up to the Bag Brigaders and all the new YouTube watchers and subscribers and whatever while you're here?
Absolutely. What's up to all the bag brigaders and the fresh maces just tuning in? Glad to have you along for the ride. Stick around because we're going to keep breaking down the big money moves.
All right, so I'm sure a lot of of y'all are agitated or could be agitated from what I'm kind of getting at here, right? Your portfolio's on the front lines, but there's multiple battlefields you need to be aware of. Okay, so battlefield number one, in my opinion, is going to be the currency wars. See, currencies aren't just, vacation money or, like what you would think they are. Currencies are not just vacation money, they're weapons. When a country weakens its currency, its exports get cheaper, its jobs look healthier, and they flex on the world. Problem is, when one currency drops, another rises. It's a race to the bottom. And right now, the US dollar, the champ for decades, is getting challenged. BRICS, BRICS. I'm sure you heard of it, but BRICS countries are setting up shop to bypass the dollar. And I believe BRICS stands for Brazil. I believe it stands, I think the C is China, S is South Africa, I is India, and R is Russia. Yes, so Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa countries are setting up shop to bypass the dollar. Why should you care? Because if the dollar weakens, inflation smacks you in the face, imports cost more, and your savings, shit, that's just paper at that point. You might as well burn it. Plus, international investments go fucking haywire when profits get converted back into weak dollars. Just remember the Japanese yen carry trade fiasco of August 5th of 2024. Okay, the dollar's still king, but younger fighters are swinging and they are coming out throwing bows, dude. And I'm telling you, the belt ain't safe. It's up for grabs. What about you? What do you guys say about that, Gecko?
Well, Chuck, you pretty much just painted the picture like a heavyweight fight poster. So let me jump in the ring with a little side eye. Basically, yeah, your dollars are still wearing the champion belt, but that belt's looking a little worn out. And if these BRICS countries are the up and comers trying to duck and weave around the dollar, well, it means your average Joe's wallet might feel the hit sooner or later. So, yeah, it's not just vacation money. It's more like the world's ultimate currency wrestling match. And you're right. It's definitely about this up for grabs. So let's keep an eye on the contenders and make sure the back brigade knows how to dodge those inflation punches.
Yes, that is the plan. Thank you for your input, sir. So, the battlefield number two, that's going to be the yield curve war. Now, I hope most of you, at least if you're in the bag brigade community at this point, you know what the fucking yield curve is. Okay? But either way, let me just get into this. Okay, nerd alert, the yield curve, right? Sounds boring. It's more honest than any politician you've ever heard in your fucking life. Normally, you lend money long term, like, 10 years, right? You get more back than short term, like a 2-year bond or a 2-year loan. Makes sense, right? Because you're holding for longer. There's more things that could happen in that period of time. There's more risk associated. So you're going to get a higher yield on your return if you hold till maturity. But when the curve inverts, meaning short term bonds are paying more than long term bonds, well, five that's a fucking 5-star fire alarm or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Why? Because it's the market screaming recession incoming. And it's been right for the last 50 fucking years. From 2022 to 2024, we had the longest inversion in history. I have talked about this on previous videos. Not even the longest, but the deepest, like the steepest it's ever been. I'll have to show you an image of this again if I have to, but now it's steepening again, which means the storm already hit and we're in the aftershocks, because that's what happens when it steepens back up after being inverted. We go into a fucking recession. And like I said, this is the biggest and longest inversion we've ever seen, especially on the 10-year minus 3 month. You just see your stocks bleeding, right? The pros saw it years out. That's the difference between pawns and players. What do you got to say, Gecko?
Well, Chuck, I'd say you've basically just handed everyone a pair of X-ray glasses to see through the financial fog. If the yield curve is doing circus tricks and flipping upside down, it's basically the market's not so subtle way of saying, hey, heads up. The storm's already come through, and if folks in the bag brigade have been paying attention, well, they know we're not just talking about a drizzle. We're talking a full-on downpour that's already soaked everybody's shoes. So yeah, the pros saw this coming from a mile away, and if you're in the know, you're not just a pawn getting swept up. So we'll keep everyone sharp, and we'll keep calling it like it is.
Call it like it is. Call it like the biz. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. We'll keep it real and call it like biz. No sugarcoating, just straight talk. There's one thing the Bag Brigade's going to get, is the raw truth with a side of sarcasm. So let's keep rolling and keep everyone a step ahead of the game.
The number three, or whatever, the battlefield three, the geopolitical chessboard. Wars, sanctions, Supply chain drama. This is the world map on fire. The US and China, that's not just tariffs, people. It's a war for the future. AI, quantum computing, rare minerals. If your portfolio is tied to a company getting its part from one unstoppable hotspot, that stock can vanish overnight. But here's the flip. Connector countries like Mexico and Vietnam, they're eating good as supply chains spread out. The bosses analyze this every single fucking day. They don't just check profits, they check political risk. While you're watching the artist, they're watching the label. You get it? You dig? Gecko, step in. What you got?
Absolutely, Chuck. I'm right there with you. It's like watching the backstage politics at the biggest music festival on earth. Sure, everyone's focused on the star performer, but the real game is happening behind the curtain. And yeah, those geopolitical chess moves, they're basically the hidden tracks on the album that can turn a hit into a flop overnight. So if you're in the Bag Brigade, you're not just looking at the headliner, you're keeping an eye on who's running the whole show. And trust me, we'll keep everyone tuned in to which countries are the roadies, making this whole supply chain concert actually happen. So yeah, you dig it? I'll keep it rolling.
Cool. So I'm talking about, Gecko. So now it's time for the solution, fam. Or at least what I like to think the solution is or could be or whatever. But it's how to see the chessboard, right? So how do you stop being a pawn? Well, there's 3 steps to it in my opinion. Step 1, become a macro watcher. I don't know how many times I've had to say this stuff, but I'm sure a lot of you have heard me preach it. But things like, watch GDP, gross domestic product, which tells you, it's like a gauge on how strong an economy is. Inflation. Are we growing or are we fucking broke? Listen to central banks. They literally tell you what they're scared of. Track geopolitical hotspots. China, Europe, Middle East. Don't be blind.
Exactly, Chuck. It's like you got to step out of the crowd and start seeing the whole stage, not just the lead singer. So step 1, like you said, is becoming that macro watcher. Basically, get those binoculars out and look at the big economic picture. GDP, inflation, central banks' little fear monologues, they're all part of the show. And if you know where the geopolitical spotlights are shining, you're not going to trip over any surprises. So yeah, let's make sure nobody in the Bag Brigade is walking around blindfolded on this chessboard.
Now, the second step, follow the money. Or follow the money flows, I guess. Right? Big money leaves ginormous, huge footprints. Follow them. The dollar index, DXY, ticker $ DXY. Strong dollar equals fear. Weak dollar equals risk fucking on. The 10-year treasury yield sets the price of money, literally, worldwide. Commodities, oil equals demand, gold equals panic meter. See, that's the dashboard of the global money machine. You better start checking it, or you're going to get left in the fucking dust. You dig?
Absolutely, you nailed it. It's like tracking giant footprints in the mud. You see where the big money went, and you know which direction the whole herd is moving. So yeah, follow that DXY, peek at the 10-year treasury yield, and treat commodities like your market mood rings. Basically, if you know where the money's tiptoeing or stomping, you're not going to get left behind. So absolutely, you dig it, and we'll make sure the Bag Brigade digs it too.
You dig? Okay. Step 3, build a resilient strategy. Diversity, for real. Not just Tesla or Ford, Nvidia, spread across assets and countries, okay? Bet long-term trends, green energy, digital information, supply chain reshuffles. Have emotional discipline. Don't fucking panic sell. That's how Wall Street eats your lunch and ask if you're done with the fucking crust. Literally.
Absolutely, you got it. Step 3 is all about making sure your strategy is some muscle. Spread those investments out so you're not just hanging your hat on one superstar stock or one single country. Look at the big long-term shifts like green energy or how supply chains are doing the cha-cha around the globe. And yeah, keep your cool. If you panic sell, you're basically handing Wall Street your lunch money and asking if they want dessert too. So build that resilient strategy, keep it cool, and you'll be running the chessboard, not just playing on it.
More like checkers if they don't want to listen.
Exactly. If they don't want to listen, then they're basically just stuck playing checkers while we're out here playing 4D chess. So we'll keep them tuned in, keep it resilient, and make sure the Bag Brigade is always a few steps out on the board. And hey, if anyone's still playing checkers, we'll just make sure they know how to upgrade their game.
Okay, so fam, check it out. The old rules are dead. Money wars are the new normal. I mean, look at cryptocurrency. I mean, all this shit. It's kind of wild. I fucking hate crypto, straight up. I really do. And sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry if this offends anybody, but whatever. You can stay upon, reacting after the fact, but I mean, really, you can start seeing the whole damn board if you really put your eyes to it. That's the only way to stop getting fucking played in this game. So do me and the Bag Brigade a favor. If you like this content, if you like what you hear, if you get anything from this, smash the subscribe button, baby. If you're ready to wisen up, like the video, comment. I would love to get feedback from any of you because I will comment back. I mean, it's straight up. Bag Brigade, the Bag Brigade is here to make sure you ain't just another piece sacrificed in the global money game. And with that being said, again, it's your boy Chuck Boomberg, aka Chuck Taylor, or whatever you want to call me. But I'm just going to leave it like I normally do. There's a lot of reasons to ask why. Why this? Why that? Why? Well, I stopped asking why a long fucking time ago. I ask, why not? Because why the fuck not, right? You only live once. And again, remember this. I made something out of nothing. Thanks for nothing. Gecko, give him your line off.
Oh, you know it, Chuck. Here it is. Bottom line, the Bag Brigade isn't here to let anyone be a pawn in somebody else's money wars. So if you're here to level up. And like you said, it's not about asking why. It's about asking why not. Because hell, you only live once, so you might as well see the whole board and play the game like a boss. So with that, Bag Brigade, hit that subscribe, drop a comment, and remember, we're turning you into the plans, not the pieces. Thanks for nothing, or better yet, thanks for everything.
And thank you, Gecko. So yeah, fam, again, there'll be a link in the description of this video to the Twitter account and also to the Bag Brigade Discord community that is currently still free, but not for much longer. I don't have a solid date on this, so I'd advise you to join because if you're in, you're in. You won't ever have to pay unless you leave and come back. But if you wait too long, there will be a fee attached to it, a monthly subscription fee. So, that being said, and one of the stipulations, by the way, for me to even accept the application or any of my mods or analysts in the Discord community to accept your application, you need to be able to show proof that you are subscribed to this YouTube channel and preferably the Twitter channel as well. All of those links are in the description. That's all I got to say. See you on the next one. Boomberg out.
Bloomberg on the track.